It's a tap. Welcome to Tap 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 Tap.
Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Hello and welcome to the Town Alone podcast brought to you by The Wheel. I am your host, Adam Hess, and with me as always, reprising his role from Jurassic Park, it's Mike Regan. Mike, how are you doing today?
We're going to need a bigger boat. That's the right movie, right?
I'm just more concerned with the fact that now this podcast is going to get pulled off YouTube. John Williams is coming for you. I think he's already standing outside of your window with a gun.
Probably.
You know what? I said this before about something else, and I can't remember what it was. I could take any composer in a fist fight. You send a composer my way, I am winning that fist fight. There is no composer on earth who can beat me in a fist fight.
I definitely take you against, like, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is like the only composer of note, but Jesus, beneath the age of 75.
If you tried to pick a fight with him, he would just start doing his, like, rap singing thing he did, like with Hamilton. Then you just schnoz punch him.
So, if we all pretend that I have seen Hamilton and know what you're talking about with this rap singing thing.
Well, Hamilton, it's a musical, but they also like rap in it. But it's not like, I don't know.
And it's about Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2.
Yes, actually.
Can we put on music called Also Hamilton and just make it about Linda Hamilton?
I think it's a good idea, actually.
I think that'll print money, man. Tell you what,
we should do movies that are just called like Also Blank, and it's like the same title but just like another person that has that name. It'd basically be like the PG version of like porn parodies, because it's not porn. It's just a movie about a different person.
Do you want to give me another example besides Also Hamilton?
Also Lincoln.
There you go. Would it be about Lincoln Riley?
Different Lincoln. There you go.
I think we got something here. Do we just shut down the podcast and start doing this from now on?
Sorry, guys. We got to go become millionaires.
Billionaires, I dare say.
Billionaires.
Become
the second trillionaire.
Didn't the South Park guys get like $250 million to keep making South Park?
Probably something crazy. It's like the only thing, like that and The Daily Show, are the only thing people will tune in live to watch on Comedy Central.
Like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, if we just made Also Hamilton and Also Lincoln, that's right. You put those two together, there's no way it's making less than Oppenheimer. And then we can make Also Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Also Oppenheimer. We gotta find another Oppenheimer, but we'll find one.
There's a film critic named Oppenheim. Is that good enough, or does it have to be Oppenheimer?
Yeah. Well, depends on how far down the list we go until we have to like start kind of stretching it. Then we might have to go with that one. But we could do. I'm sure there's another Barbie in the world. We could do Also Barbie.
Also Odyssey.
Yep. Also The Life of Chuck, about Chuck Norris.
This really started out with the core premise of being about Linda Hamilton, and now we're just saying also and then movie titles.
Yeah, you should probably cut this from the pod. Someone's gonna steal the idea.
It's gonna be really difficult to make Also Reservoir Dogs, but I believe in us.
Like there's some dogs in a reservoir, like actual dogs in a thing of water.
Should we just talk about football now? I don't really have a way to transition.
I guess.
My cat has just laid down across both of my wrists and gone to sleep, so it might be a little bit of a hard podcast for us to do here if I need to click anything, which I do, because, Mike, this week, we're bringing back a hockey gimmick, which is not something you typically want to do. Typically, if hockey does something, you want to stay the hell away from it. It means it's nuclear. It means it was a bad decision for the league and the people who watch it. But we are bringing back a gimmick we did about hockey, which we call the overly complicated draft. Now, the way this works, Mike, excuse me, cat, need to get my arm up right about here, thank you. The way this works, Mike, is I have provided us with 14 categories, plus a bonus question. We're going to draft for each of these categories. However, we are only going to draft for 9 of them, so you can pick any player for any 9. Once a player is picked, it cannot go into any other category.
None.
So if you pick Josh Allen to have the most pressures in the NFL. It seems like it'd be a bad pick, but if you did, you can also not pick him for most passing yards.
Correct.
What else? There was something else I need to say about this. 9 of the 14. We have one bonus question that you have to answer. That bonus question is, name one player to win the receiving Triple Crown, which is receptions, yards, and touchdowns leading in the season. Now, our categories. MVP, passing yards leader, most turnovers, that is most turnovers given up, not most turnovers caused. Highest ADOT, offensive player of the year, most rushing yards, most receiving yards, most total touchdowns, defensive player of the year, highest graded player by PFF, most sacks, that is sacks caused, not sacks given up, most pressures, player of the month, comeback player of the year, and the bonus question, one player to win the Triple Crown. Mike, how many issues or clarifications do you need before we get started?
Yeah, I think I already know the answer to this one, but for like most turnovers, obviously it makes sense to take a quarterback because then you get interceptions and the potential fumbles. But technically, could you take like a running back that you think is going to fumble every time he touches the ball?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, I wouldn't, but I just wanted to clarify that would be an option if we were getting crazy.
You also, I mean, you could take a kicker. I don't think a kicker's ever turned over the ball, but you could take one.
Yeah, that's true.
With that, Mike, we can go ahead and get started here if you're ready. Do you want to kick or receive?
I'm going to go first.
You know, Mike,
I want to receive. I want to receive.
You see, here's the problem. Mike, is you're such a professional from the sense of you have all the stats and all the player comps and you have everything ready in your brain and you do your research, but you're just not enough of a showman sometimes. You're not enough of a showman. You wait.
Showman.
You know what gimmick is coming, and instead of playing into it, and then all the people will laugh and laugh and laugh and subscribe to our Patreon, you kill the gimmick by saying you're going to go first. You know? Just every week, you Montreal Screwjob me with this, you know?
Mm-hmm, sure.
You're the Bret Hart in this friendship. And I'm the Shawn Michaels. And I guess the Vince McMahon.
I'm a good guy, Greg. All right?
Yes,
you're a scumbag, Steve. Just kidding.
All right, Mike, you got the first pick on the board. Who are you going to go with, and in what category?
I'm going to go with the ADOT category.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. Last year, it was Sir Matthew Stafford, who also he led the league. Should say,
let me clarify. For PFF grade and ADOT, I think those are the only two. For PFF grade and ADOT, it's going to be at least 50% of snaps.
Yeah, I usually set everything to 50%.
Yeah. 50% of snaps, and then there was one other one here that I wanted to clarify. Pressures and sacks are total, not percent.
Okay.
Or not rate.
Gotcha. So last year it was obviously MVP Matt Stafford who led the league in ADOT. He also led the league in the most attempts of 10-plus yards and 20-plus, or 10 to 19 and then 20-plus. But the dude who came in only 0.1 yard behind him and took a notable amount of less of those was Drake May. Now Drake May has a rebuilt receiving core with Romeo Dubsky and AJ Book Reed and Brown. So I'm going with Drake May to win this title this year.
You know, this isn't quite like when we did our Oscars pod and you took one battle after another to win cinematography, but it's close. It's close to go with the 23-year-old quarterback that was runner-up for MVP last year and go highest ADOT.
I did the same thing with the Hurricanes when I took them for most shorthanded goals and just took them off the board for everything else.
That one, at least I'll give you credit for that one. That one was purely out of spite. That was due to your flaming hatred of the Canes.
Yeah.
This one, is this due to your flaming hatred of Drake May?
No. It's due to my still part of my heart that loves him and ignores the fact that he plays for the Patriots.
The total eclipse of the heart, some would say.
R.I.P.
2.
Whatever that lady's name is who sang that, she died last week.
Oh, well, I introduced you as since we're doing the R.I.P. section right now, I introduced you as reprising your role in Jurassic Park because Sam Neill died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You said that like that was pleasant. Oh, really? Huh.
No.
Learn something new every day.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I wonder if this is messed up because he just died, but he was like on his deathbed and he saw that Velociraptor again from like the third one. He was like, Alan.
Well, he
Or is that not Sam Neill? Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
that's Sam Neill.
Okay.
In Event Horizon, he does like go space mad and kill a bunch of people. So I wonder which one of those things got to him first between the space madness and the Velociraptors.
Yeah.
What am I going to take, Mike? My initial thought is to go defense. Here.
Defense.
Take a little bit of an obvious pick. Now, I think that there's two potential guys you could potentially say for this potential category. But I am just going to take the guy who set the record for the most sacks in an NFL season last year to once again lead the NFL in sacks. I'm going to take Myles Garrett for most sacks.
Okay.
There's some stiff competition for Mr. Garrett. There's Aiden Hutchinson, who can't stay healthy, and some other players who I'm not going to mention. But, because I want to draft him later. But, when you have the most sacks in NFL history one season, I'm going to go ahead and take you to have the most sacks in just the NFL the next.
Yeah. I just want people to realize that man led the league in PFF grade and pressure, despite taking almost the most pressure snaps. Not quite. Aiden Hutchinson did take way more than him, so my point now doesn't stand. Back to you, Adam.
Do you want me to cut that one out or just leave it in for you?
No. This is a lesson to all young podcasters. If you're going to try to look up and throw a stat out real fast on air, make sure you take an extra second.
All right, Mike. Second pick's on the board. Well, not on the board yet. Second, you're on the clock. It's second pick o'clock. Mike, go for it.
Gotcha. Whatever you just said, Adam. I'm right, you are, Adam. I'm going to go to most passing yards. Okay.
Okay.
And can't take Drake May again.
That's correct. That is the singular well, one of many gimmicks. It's almost like this is an overly complicated draft.
It's an overly complicated draft. So I'm going to go ahead and now switch back to take the guy who beat Drake May for MVP. I mean, McVay is still going to McVay, and Mafford? Stafford's still going to rack up the yards. I think he's going to, once again, he threw the ball over 100 more times than May last year. I think that's going to probably be like a consistent thing. So even if like my ADOT works out from just like a percentages and numbers standpoint, I still think the increase in amount of throws for Stafford will get him most yards.
I like the logical argument of if my ADOT works out from a numbers standpoint.
It's the only way it could work.
By God, he's crunched the numbers and the ADOT works out from a numbers standpoint. Well, you've taken the top two finishers for MVP from last season. What are you laughing about?
I was saying, just keep going defense. I'll find every way to take the top QBs in the league.
Yeah, you've taken the top QBs. Well, I mean, I guess I could just go. We could just play opposite strategies here.
Mm-hmm.
And I could take a little DPOY.
Little DPOY.
Or I could even save DPOY and I can middle it. I could potentially take the top three pass rushers off the board here, but I am in fact going to take DPOY. DPOY, they don't like to give it to the same guy 2 years in a row, so I'm going to take a little Will Anderson Jr.
Oh, I like
Willie
that pick.
Anderson J. WAJ, as we call him around these parts.
Mm-hmm.
We call him the Andy job.
Yeah, I was last year, as Garrett was closing in on the sack record, I was still like one person planting the flag of like, no, Will Anderson Jr. should actually win the Defensive Player of the Year. You guys are all stupid.
Well, he ended up having like a pretty ridiculous pressure rate season, right?
Yeah. He's a bad man.
Let me see if I can pull up his total pressures.
25.3 win percent.
Yeah, 102 total pressures, which, Mike, you might not realize, led the NFL. So last year, led the NFL in pressures.
Mm-hmm.
And as we said, it is total pressures. Total.
Sacks, hits, hurries, all mushed into one.
Mm-hmm.
Brother.
So far off the board, I have probably the top two in terms of... also, I don't know why I was giving you total pressures when I took him for DPOY, but I have the top two pass rushers off the board. You have the top two quarterbacks off the board. Still standing is Dan Carlson. Mike, who are you going to take in your third-round pick?
Oh, see, to your credit, I thought you were bringing up he had the most pressures as a way to say, and I took him off the board, so you can't take him for most pressures, you idiot, you dumb idiot, Mike.
Yeah,
thought
you know,
that was
this is a common refrain that comes up on this podcast, but you often give me too much credit, where I'll, like, have something in the rundown that says, like, we're going to talk about clouds, and you'll do a bunch of cloud research, and I'll get on and I'll come on the pod, and you'll be like, I'm ready to talk about clouds, and I was like, no, that's supposed to say D-line. It just auto-corrected when I typed it into my phone.
Can I get clarification on one of these?
Yeah, what's up?
Most touchdowns, does that include passing?
No. It is receiving
so
and
it's like
rushing.
when you-
Receiving and
Okay,
rushing.
gotcha. Okay.
So the winner will it will probably not be Aaron Rodgers. But it could be. It could be, but it probably won't be Aaron Rodgers.
Won't be Aaron Rodgers. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go with that category there. Go with most tutties. And I'm going to take a little man off the board. Probably be my one homer pick, but probably not. James Hebe Cook. And
Just long enough of a pause there. Just long enough. How many did he's had like 3 straight 12 touchdown seasons or something crazy like that, right?
yeah,
Or at
he's a
least
bad
2.
man. I think
Like 2 years ago, he scored like 12, 13, 14 touchdowns, and we all went, all right, well, James Cook isn't going to do that 2 years in a row. So allow me, Mike. Allow me to say, James Cook isn't going to score 14 touchdowns 3 years in a row.
Yeah, he had 12 last year on the ground, and then he had, let me see how he did. In the passing game, he scored only 2. So I need that number to pick up. I need that to pick. I think Joe Brady and company will change that.
Joe Brady and whoever the fuck you have at offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to point out, Joe Brady did in fact not change that last year when he was offensive coordinator for the team.
No, he didn't. But it could be a switch this year. Maybe that was a McDermott thing. Maybe McDermott was like, don't throw the ball too much to Cook. I don't want him to get hurt. But Joe Brady's going to come in and be like, I don't give a shit if he gets hurt. I'm Joe Brady, bitch. Check out my chain.
Yeah, you're right. It probably was all Sean McDermott. Have you come around fully yet on being like, Joe Brady might be pretty good?
As head coach, no, I'm still very 50-50 trepidatious.
50-50 trepidatious.
I wish I could change that category now to receiving or rushing touchdowns only, but it's too late.
Also, I don't think rushing touchdowns is a stat. Just rushing yards.
I also reading would help. I wish I'd read more.
So last year, James Cook came in a 4-way tie for 5th, including being tied with his own quarterback.
Oh, no. Well, that's why I asked, because if you said passing counted, I was going to be like, I'm taking Josh here. Once again, I get taken over in the top QBs.
Right, but you're not listening to me. Josh Allen had the 5th most receiving and rushing touchdowns combined, ignoring all of his passing touchdowns.
I understand this, Adam. I understand your point you're making, but he had 19 touchdowns on the ground the year before, James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 was a notable dip. He also had 7 fumbles last year. Only had 1 year
14.
before. So he's got to clean it up a little bit. Okay, well,
14 total touchdowns. The first place last year, Jonathan Taylor with 20, and so allow me to be the first person to say there's no fucking chance Jonathan Taylor's doing that again, and I'm not taking him for that slot. And now I'm going to clip out this part and put it into our end of the year podcast where we go, Jonathan Taylor, 21 touchdowns, first place in the NFL.
You know what I'd love to see if we have a second for me to check?
A woman?
No. Actually, kind of. As the year went on, his touchdowns, like after week 13, he only had 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
I just point that out because, like, as their QB position, DJ gets hurt, their QB position goes to shit. Everybody's just keying in on Taylor. And that could happen this year from week 1 when they tried out one Achilles DJ and realized that last year was a complete outlier.
Would you go to a set of the one Achilles DJ? Would you go see that? Like,
that's literally going to be his next career choice.
Mike, I was also thinking about jumping to the other side of the board there. I was thinking, let's do some work together as a unit.
Together.
But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to take most pressures here, Mike. I'm going to go with most pressures.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the Michigan alum from the suburbs of Detroit, basically Eminem himself, Aiden Hutchinson, with most pressures.
Nice, nice.
So that means I have taken Will Anderson Jr., Myles Garrett, and Aiden Hutchinson off the board. Enjoy taking Jared Verse on Cleveland for one of those slots.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of monitoring here is, okay, the guys I still like for those categories, like sacks and pressures, is there any other place you can take them? And I don't think so. So I should be safe to kind of wait on them.
And yeah, so he had 100 last year. 100. He was 2 behind Will Anderson and tied with Jared Verse and Josh Hines Allen for that slot. Listen, Hutch, we need this from you. Oh, by the way, this is all regular season, by the way. Regular season. No postseason is going to be accounted for here. But Mike, now that I have taken all of the good defensive players off the board, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I also just realized I was looking at total pressures, regular season plus postseason, so I will now sort by regular season.
All right. Oh, wow. So you have been incorrect. I've also been doing that. I should probably clarify that I'm also an idiot. We're idiots together.
Good news is, in the regular season, Aiden Hutchinson led the NFL in pressures at 100 because they didn't play in the playoffs, Mike.
Well, that makes your Jonathan Taylor thing even make more sense because he didn't get to the playoffs. So, no, he's not going to get 20 touchdowns again, excluding playoffs, or I'll eat my own hat.
Which one? You have so many hats.
I do. So many hats.
Fucking nuts, Mike. Hey, real quick, can we have an aside here? Can we have a quick aside?
Quick aside, very quick. Go ahead.
How are we going to decide top PFF graded player?
I mean, I think you'd probably have to go through each position, sort by. I would make it just not positional based. I make it just offense/defense. So you can sort. You go to position to sort all offense, all defense, 50% of snaps. Highest grade ones. Does that work?
Got it. That works for me. I just wanted to make sure we were both on the same page here, Mike. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Well, I'm now going to turn to most rushing yards. Okay.
Were you waiting for gasps?
I was like, for a gasp from the crowd.
If I was more willing to break everything in my body and everything in my apartment, I would have done the Vince McMahon falls backwards out of his chair thing.
Yeah.
I can't flat back bump. That's the one thing people need to know about me, Mike.
No. I obviously already took the winner of this category last year in James Cook off the board. So I'm going to turn to a guy who I think new coaching staff implemented. I think he's going to do. He already had a banger of a year last year with a bad coaching staff and a bad OC. So I think he's going to have just even a better year. That's hit up the mustard man for me, Adam. A little Bijan.
That's for most rushing yards, right?
Yep.
That actually leaves me open for a couple of things here that I was considering at this spot. You see, this is where we really get into the psyche of the draft, Mike. This is where we get into the psyche.
Into the minutia, if you will.
And who is Bijan's coach now?
Dude, two-time coach of the year winner, Kevin Stefanski?
That's right. I always forget that it's the Stefans.
Yeah. And his OC is now Notre Dame legend, Tommy Rees. He's gonna cook.
We have so many offensive coordinators in the NFL right now that are just like, hey, this guy failed at quarterback. Let him call plays.
And a lot of them work out, though.
Some of them work out. This is survivorship bias. We remember the ones that worked out who are now NFL coaches.
Yeah, but still, they say those who can't do, teach.
Mm-hmm. And those who can't teach the gym.
That was pretty good.
It's a line, Mike. I will give you all the money you owe me in bets back, plus an extra $100 if you can guess what movie that line is from.
Oh, what movie? Those who can't do, teach. Those who can't teach gym. Draft Day.
No,
I don't know.
I'll give you one more guess. I'll even give you a hint.
Sports movie?
I'll even give you a hint. Mike. It is a movie that takes place through the eyes of a teacher.
Coach Carter.
School of Rock.
Oh, shit. Dude, Jack Black dropping life bombs.
Remember when he ended the Tenacious D tour because the guy made a joke about Trump getting assassinated?
Yeah.
I probably think about that too often.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
Michael motorcycle.
Here's my question about the Bijan thing.
Bijan?
How is his work going to get affected if
By Brian Robinson?
if that was not where I was going with it. So there's two questions, right? Tyler Algier is on a new team, and his quarterback is probably going to be Tua.
No, it's going to be Penix. You're so silly. You're so
Isn't
silly.
Penix hurt?
Nah, he's going to be good for the start of the season. I personally talk to him on the phone once a week, apparently. Tells me how rehab's going.
What's a worse take for you? Ryan Grubb's going to be a great OC, or that Penix is going to be an NFL quarterback?
Ryan Grubb's got a raw deal. He only got 1 year in Seattle. I think if he would have got more time, I think he will be back in the NFL at some point.
They kicked him out of the building. Brought in fucking Sam Darnold and won the Super Bowl, Mike.
Yeah, but they also made what's his face OC, who did very well.
Clint Kubiak.
Cubes, right?
The cubes. Yeah. The Clint Kubiak. Mm-hmm. This is what we do. We make a cube. That's how you know we're talking about Clint Kubiak.
Kubiak.
It's like voguing, but for really nerdy white guys. Now, Mike, part of me is considering taking the highest graded PFF player as another pass rusher and really just shutting you out of any potential for competing for any pass rusher stats.
Yeah. Okay.
The other part of me is considering switching the ball, taking some offensive players here. Because my concern right now is there's basically one defensive player I'm worried about you taking, and I kind of don't think you're going to take him.
Okay.
Although there's two categories you could take him in. But anyways, there's basically one defensive player I'm concerned about you taking here. And if you don't take him, I'll be fine. However, I get some pretty good value on the offensive side of the board that I'm still seeing here, Mike. There's some offensive picks on the board I like a lot. So I think I'm going to jump over. I'm going to take OPOY, the Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, boy.
And unfortunately, for some reason, I appear to be buying the dip in Detroit, a team I don't totally believe in. But I am going to take Jahmyr Gibbs to win the Offensive Player of the Year.
I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
Do you love it, though? Do you love it?
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
I can't give you the odds yet because I don't want you to steal any of my picks. But Jahmyr Gibbs is currently first in the odds for Offensive Player of the Year, which, as we all remember, was won last year by, I'm going to cover my mouth, and at this point I'm going to edit in the part where I say who won Offensive Player of the Year last year. All right, ready? Okay, now you have to react.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
There you go. All right, Mike. All right. So far, off the board, Jahmyr Gibbs, Will Anderson Jr., Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, Matt Stafford, Drake May, Bijan, and James Cook.
Do we have to wait?
Fifth pick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's up?
Do we have to wait till the very end to do our bonus?
So the other thing, the bonus, the Triple Crown, you do have to wait till the end, but you can take a player that's already been drafted.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so good. All right, so in that case, I'm going to jump over to receiving yards, and I think this man who was without his quarterback for a chunk of the year and is still one of, if not the best receivers in the NFL, is coming back with a vengeance. After last year only having a paltry 1,412 yards. How pathetic. I'm taking Jamar Chase on the case.
Yeah, he's kind of the only answer, I feel like. I mean, I guess he's not, because you can answer other people, and I might answer other people. But
I don't want to go, like... I always am. Well, no, I'm already like leery of ever going like repeat, with the exception of I did it for Stafford, but at most passing yards.
Yeah, I'm fine going with repeat for like categories, right? I don't like going repeat for awards winners, because awards winners, that's subjective. Like someone is sitting there behind their keyboard, like that real fat guy from the World of Warcraft episode of South Park. Like, that's what all NFL writers look like, and they're just tapping away about how, like, you can't possibly give Offensive Player of the Year 2 years in a row to Jackson Smith and Jigba, because he already won it, and someone else's time. You know, Jackson Smith and Jigba's had his run in the sun. It's time to give it to someone else. So that's why I don't like going back to back on awards winners. I forgot where I was going with that. I just spent too much time insulting NFL writers and forgot what my point was for a second.
That's a
with,
good point, though, I'm sure.
With like stat leaders, sometimes it's just the same guy 2 years in a row, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no one's ever won an award 2 years in a row, Mike, in the NFL.
That can't be true.
That's probably not. It's probably not true. I'm sure LaDainian Tomlinson won Offensive Player of the Year like 3 years in a row or something.
That also can't be true. As great as he was in San Diego. He was a monster in San Diego, don't get me wrong. But
yeah. Should we? Okay, we'll settle this and then we'll get back to the draft.
When you see
player,
when you see a running back in a visor, that's who you immediately think of, right?
Yeah, him and Sean. Jesus Christ, what's his name? Sorry, I'm reading too many.
Sean Alexander didn't wear a visor.
Did he not?
I don't think so.
Oh no, not Sean Alexander. Sorry, Clinton Portis.
Yeah. CP.
I said Sean Alexander because I was thinking of Sean Taylor whenever I think of that era of the Commanders.
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk won it 3 times in a row, 99, 2000, 2021. Priest Holmes, Jamal Lewis, Peyton Manning, Sean Alexander, the aforementioned, and then LaDainian Tomlinson. And Mike, LaDainian Tomlinson wins it in 2006. Guess who wins it in 2007? Mike's actually going to guess. I figured he would just say LaDainian Tomlinson again.
I don't think it is, because the confidence in your voice makes me think it's not.
That's the reverse of how you should feel.
Bro.
When I say something very confident, you should assume that I am saying it with some kind of authority.
Yeah, but you're not. You're not. I don't think that he was in the league yet, so it can't be him. I'm going to say... Offensive Player of the Year has to, in 2007, had to have been either Randy Moss or Tom Brady, right?
It was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Tomathan Brady. Earl Campbell also won it 3 times in the 70s. But you can, in fact, win it in back-to-back years. Just LaDainian Tomlinson can't. In fact, it seems like LaDainian Tomlinson only won it once.
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing? Whose pick is it? My pick?
Your
you
pick.
Just picked Jamar Chase?
I just took, for most receiving yards.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. There's basically only one or maybe 2 categories where you could take another running back off the board. So I'm kind of safe right now on running back. Oh, I suppose not. I suppose you could definitely take it in 3. But right now, I think I'm pretty safe on running back. I think I'm pretty safe. This is my 5th pick. We're going to have 4 more rounds. I'm gonna give you a little too much insight into what the way my thinking is here. Kind of like how when we did the hockey thing, one of the categories was player to score the most points and miss the playoffs. And I picked the Ottawa Senators for that, who in fact did not miss the playoffs, but just about got as close as you could by getting swept in 4 games in the first round. There is no way I finish this draft without taking highest graded PFF player. Like, there's just simply no way.
No way?
But
okay.
There's a lot of options at that. I just like the question too much, you know? There's a lot of options at that. And so I think that I could probably go a different direction with it. So for now, I think I'm just going to, God. Who do I want to take? Like, it's so chalky that it almost feels ridiculous, but I think I just take Josh Allen to win MVP. Like, there's really no 2 ways about it.
Yeah.
He's only won 1. All of his contemporaries have won multiple. He's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, and he got a brand new head coach in the building that's going to have a lot of new ideas that the last regime definitely didn't have.
Yeah. You nailed it.
That last regime, they were so tired, Mike, They just didn't know what to do with this team, but they got this new young gun, a young head coach now, who's going to be sitting in the booth, calling the plays, replacing the schlubs that were doing that last year. And so I just think this offense is going to dramatically improve year over year.
Fucking schlubs.
Mike, the ball is in your court. In this conversation, you are the Yannick Sinner. I don't know who he just played at Wimbledon, but he won. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'm looking at sacks here, or pressures for my next pick.
Looking at sacks over there, Mike?
Oh no! What have I said? What have I said?
Just gonna clip that out and make it my ringtone.
Done. This is a dude that really always has like a great win rate, but kind of with my like Jamar Chase coming back with a vengeance, I'm gonna go with another back with a vengeance thing here. in Micah Parsons. The only question is he coming back? Is he coming back with a vengeance for sacks or for total pressures?
Literally the one player on the defensive side that I was like, Mike's not going to take this guy.
Yeah. I mean, he was... Oh, dude. This is a hard choice to make. I'm going to go... I mean, he missed the last, three games? Yeah, he missed the last 3 games of the regular season after he got hurt.
I mean, like 3 3/4 because he got hurt early in that game.
Was he hurt in 2024? Did he play a full season for Dallas? I don't think he did.
Once again, he only missed like 3 games in 2024. And Jerry Jones was like, how can we win without Micah Parsons? What are we supposed to do as a team? The guy can't stay on the field. I'm trading him for Kenny Clark.
Yeah. But in saying that, that makes his regular season career high as sacks at 16. Still phenomenal. He probably led the league that year, but who knows? So I'm going to go ahead and just go with total pressures. I'm going to go with total pressures here for Parsons.
He's a Parsons person, folks.
Yeah.
He's a Parsons person. Oh,
and his name was Micah Parsons.
Okay. Let me think about this for a second, Mike.
You know what
feels? You know what feels like such a fucking cheat?
What?
Would be like, is there any way that like a tackle is just the highest grade on PFF and you look like a complete genius?
That's a good one, actually, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the times we would do with Team Town Alone, like top 5 players. And a lot of times, like one offensive lineman would be there, either a guard or a tackle.
Yeah. So I have an idea on where. God, I can't possibly do that. I have a different idea on where I'm going to go on that, but I'm going to hold off. I'm letting my draft influence my draft, which is bad drafting. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's go for a fun category, Mike. You want to do a fun category?
Ooh. That's fun.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't think we should talk like this. I think that we're gonna.
Yeah, I feel like I want to take that last 3 seconds of my life back.
Let's go with most turnovers.
Ooh, a negative one.
Isn't that fun, Mike?
That's fun. I love dunking on people who suck.
So I think that the obvious place to go here is it's quarterback. I mean, like it's quarterback by a mile.
Yeah.
But let me tell you. I'm going to tell you the top 5 in terms of total turnovers last year. This is interceptions and lost fumbles. Number 1, your Super Bowl winning quarterback Sam Darnold. Number 2, Geno Smith at 18. Number 3, Tua Tagovailoa at 16. Number 4, Justin Herbert at 15. And number 5, Trevor Lawrence at 15. Bryce Young's tied in there at 15. So maybe the obvious pick here is just once again go chalk and say Sam Darnold. It's definitely not going to be Geno. It's definitely not going to be Tua because neither one of them are going to get enough passing attempts to really do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go with a guy who seemed a little fumble happy last year and is going to get a lot of run at the ball and has an offense that likes to run a lot of plays. I think I'm just going to go Trevor Lawrence here. I think I'm going to go T-Law.
I love me. Oh, I was about to say I love me some T-Law, but I just remembered this is bad.
Listen. Like I said
I don't think
last
that's
year,
a crazy pick.
the guy with the most turnovers in the NFL won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So, Trevor Lawrence can have a shitload of turnovers, and they can still win the Super Bowl. In fact, they were the 1 seed in the NFC, despite their quarterback having the most turnovers of any player in the NFL.
I do wonder because under Liam Cohen, pause for a moment. Lawrence had like the best season of his career. You know who else did though and got paid because of it was Travis Etienne. And so now with him not being there, it makes their starting running back Byshell Tootin, rootin' scootin' and tootin'. And I don't want to throw any shade at him, but I don't know how well he's going to do. That puts more pressure on Trevor Lawrence to be the guy. So
Did you see that Etienne clarified how to pronounce his last name?
What do you say? Something like Etienne, like something crazy.
It's even more ridiculous than that, Mike.
What?
After 5 years in the NFL and 3 years in college and being talked about in the national media
Etienne?
the whole time, it is Etienne.
Fuck off. No, it's not. I've heard Etienne, I've heard Etienne. It is not HN. These pro athletes keep saying, actually, here's a clarification years into my career and how to pronounce my last name. And we all just go, oh, okay. Like, call their mom. Call their siblings and family and get the real answer from them.
Well, here's the thing.
Because they'll probably be like, his mom will probably be like, our name ain't no HN. What the hell is my boy talking about?
Here's the thing, right? Right. Travis Etienne, or Travis Etienne, said this. They can very easily ask his brother, Trevor, which they did, and he confirmed it is pronounced Etienne.
Well, yeah, that's probably because Trevor knows he's going to be out of the league in a few years, and he's really going to need his brother Travis to have his back with some of the bills.
Listen, they're both running backs. Travis is going to end up with like $3 more million total dollars than Trevor.
Yeah. That's true.
Maybe you should have played a more premium position. Travis Etienne. All right, Mike.
All right.
You're up. You can still draft MVP, most turnovers, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, highest graded PFF, most sacks, player of the month, and the comeback kid.
Yeah.
Player of the month is the one that you have the most shots at the plate on. Like, I feel like there's an efficiency to drafting that, because you could just take a player, and if they are either, I'm going to say this. No, you can go special teams. We'll give special teams some love. It's offensive, defensive, or special teams player of the month. You got like 4 shots at the plate on it.
Yeah. I'm basically, so I have 2 more categories, so I'm trying to like take a second to think which ones I feel strongest about.
You have 3
like
more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 3 more picks.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm like a little iffy on if I should just let this one go, but I'm going to because I think I have a dark horse candidate that won't be too bad for sacks. Mm-hmm. You've already taken Will Anderson Jr. off the board. I'm just going to go ahead and grab me a little Danielle Hunter.
Yeah. You going most sacks Danielle Hunter?
Yeah, most sacks Danielle Hunter. I mean, look at it this way. Will Anderson becoming one of the absolute best defensive players in the league is just going to make defenses focus on him more. Also, he plays the left, so for most quarterbacks, he's coming for the blind side. So they're once again going to give so much focus to him that I think it lets Danielle Hunter kind of slip through the cracks and get the sacks. So
he's getting those crack sacks?
He's getting them crack sacks.
That's not bad. And he wasn't far behind. Like, he's never been that far behind Will Anderson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's been relatively like in a consistent range of total sacks the last few years of his career. So
I'm gonna kind of stick with drafting fun stuff. By the way, did you see that we talked about this, right? Jonathan Grenard got traded off of Minnesota. So I guess
where'd he
Houston,
go
though? He went to the Eagles. The Eagles.
Nice pick up for the Eagles.
Yeah. What? Can we just cut that out and just once every few months just post a clip online that just says nice pickup for the Eagles? We'll just date it with today's date, and I'll just schedule it out. I'll schedule it to post like every 3.5 months for the next 6 years.
I think we should just have an image of like some NFL GM just being like, Roseman, damn you, you've done it again.
We could like Photoshop the baby GM in Jacksonville. We could Photoshop his face over Orson Welles and Citizen Kane.
There you go.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna have fun with this one, Mike. You know, I'm just having a fun time here. Like, here's the thing about this draft, Mike. Is this supposed to be a fun exercise for us? Here's a guy, Mike. He's not trying to win the draft all the time. Sometimes he's just trying to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with a little comeback player. Comeback player, fun category, Mike. The comeback player of the year. And this is my homer pick. I'm going Jaden Daniels, who has
JD. I love that.
Obvious future head coach. You can tell because he's 32 years old and an offensive coordinator. David Blau calling the plays now. He is coming back from multiple injuries, and he's just so likable. Unless you're Brandon Ayuk, who apparently hates him now.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Should we do?
Ayuk hates him now because they still haven't. The Niners still haven't let him go to Washington, and so somehow he hates Jaden Daniels.
I typed in Jaden Ayuk in the document because we kept saying Ayuk.
Oh, they got married.
And Jaden took his last name. Do you not keep up with the constant trickle of Brandon Ayuk news?
I haven't seen it, and I haven't caught up on the latest moments of craziness.
So there was a clip that went around online where a 49ers fan ran into Jaden Daniels and told him not to throw Brandon Ayuk the ball. And then the clip continued on to show Jaden Daniels walking away laughing. And Brandon Ayuk took exception to this and ripped off like 3 Instagram stories about how Jaden Daniels is a punk or something. And then his 4th Instagram story after that was talking about how he was going to get signed by the Commanders. So you got me. You got me, brother. I think that maybe we might want to start considering that Brandon Ayuk's tenure in the NFL is creeping towards an end. By the way, they can't cut him until he reports to training camp. And he refuses to report to training camp because he refuses to do business with the 49ers.
Yeah, I think public perception's really really starting to shift on this one to Ayuk's gone crazy.
Yeah, this is getting into the concerning, like, like Steve Young said that he's worried about him, he's going to check in. I don't know what the fuck Steve Young is going to say to Brandon Ayuk, but good luck to you.
Yeah, I don't know how those two relate on any level, but I mean, I don't think it's getting as crazy as like Richie Incognito throwing weights across the gym and us being like, oh dear God, that's CTE. But
it's bordering on it, where now whenever the Brandon Ayuk stuff comes out, when it was just him beefing with the 49ers, that was funny. Now I'm like, oh, this is like emotional control issues that are really resonant with head injuries. Like, it is getting to be the point of no longer any fun.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon Ayuk, just like, good luck to you, bro. Maybe it's time to hang him up. Like, it doesn't sound like the sport for you is full contact football. You know? Yeah. Maybe he could be like a Quidditch guy. What is it they call Quidditch when they play it on the ground?
Foot Quidditch.
I thought of a really neat.
Oh, there is a name for it. No, there is a name for it though, because I saw it on like ESPN2 on one weird day.
No, you saw it on ESPN8 when they do that one time a year when they do the Ocho. Yeah. Should we watch dodgeball? Like right now? Like, should we pause the podcast and go watch dodgeball?
Stop everything and watch dodgeball? No, I don't think
you know what they say about dodgeball? It is, in fact, the true underdog story.
It's true. All right,
Mike.
My pick.
Yeah. Now you.
So this is actually a category I wasn't expecting to pick, but after you took Daniels, it kind of got me thinking. Kind of got me thinking a little bit.
Got the rush of blood.
And yeah, I got that rush of blood going. And I'm also going to go comeback player of the year. All right. Okay. And obviously, a good way to go with this is a guy who missed a lot of time due to injury. So I was trying to think, who do I like? And then it hit me. He finally got a new home, so he's out of the drama of his previous team. He's going to a team that I think desperately needed him, and he's going to be featured. Only played 7 games last year. A little Trey Hendrickson, comeback player of the year.
Ooh. Taking an old man who couldn't pass a physical to get traded? No, that was Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson. Let's look at the odds now that we've both taken comeback. Here are your odds for comeback player of the year. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes, plus 200. Jaden Daniels, plus 430. Kyler, I almost called him Kyle Lowry. That's weird. Kyler Murray, plus 600. Mike, plus 1,100. Aaron Donald. 15-1, Daniel Jones. 19-1, Micah Parsons. 27-1, George Kittle. 30-1, Nick Bosa. 30-1, Malik Neighbors. And, of course, 40-1, Travis Hunter! Who I think is just coming back from being bad.
Yeah, I hate my pick now, but I got to stick with it. Really, Patrick Mahomes, that would have been the way to go there. I would have taken him away from you for any other picks. And the media is like, his first game back will throw like, even if he only throws like 250 and a touchdown, they're like, he's back, Patrick Mahomes. Oh my God. Get me some fresh pants.
Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy.
Fucking losers.
Ooh, buddy. I think I am just going to kind of take a shot on player of the month. You know?
Can I tell you what my thought process was? Not to help you, but part of my thought process was like, your weird player who pops off for like the first month of the season and then then goes to shit. So he's like the September player of the month, you know?
Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? Like there's a guy every year who's going to do this. And that's why I'm kind of two minds here on which way to go. There's a guy who is going to win it late in the season and a guy who is going to win it early in the season. But both of them have like arcs where they are only their team typically is only good for a few months. So I'm of two minds on how to go about this. And you know what, Mike? I'm just gonna take a guy off the board from you. I'm just gonna make sure to box you out of being able to get this guy in any other category, and take Jose Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals to win a Player of the Month, because I feel like in December Cincinnati's gonna rip off like 4 wins or 5 wins, however many games they have in there. Burrow's gonna have like 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions or something.
Yeah.
So now we are on to the final round, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, final round here, Mike. You can still pick an MVP, most turnovers, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, highest graded player by PFF, and player of the month.
So I've narrowed down to which category I'm going to go with. Real quick, I want to say offensive player of the year. I don't know. There's too many options. So I just like, no. Defensive player of the year. Yeah, they're all gone. Defensive player of the year. I was like, because of who I am and my love for the secondary, that's what I wanted to take. But there's none I feel confident in enough to beat out these like edge rushers that have just taken over the league.
Yeah.
So I settled on most turnovers, Adam.
Most turnovers. Fun category. Fun, as some would say. So, oh boy. I think you can be safe going with the. So I'll tell you my thought process for one of these guys. And I was looking at Fernando Mendoza because he has just a dog shit offensive line. Mm-hmm. So it's terrible. Even though they put money in it, it wasn't enough to make it good in 1 year. We just saw the tandem of Kubiak and Andrew Janko, who was the QB's coach, lead Sam Darnold to having 14 interceptions last season, only 3 off the lead. However, a man named Genty's there, and I think they're going to try to protect their young QB by running the ball a lot. So that took him out. So you know who I think it's going to be. I don't think you have not taken him yet. And I think without the Kubiak-Janoko pairing protecting him, come on down, Super Bowl winning quarterback Sam Darnold. Wow, taking Sam Darnold here, the leader for most turnovers last year.
I know, hot take.
What's your hottest take here? So you have passing yards leader, the guy who won it last year. Most turnovers, the guy who won it last year. Highest ADOT, the guy who won it last year.
The guy who was second last year, I think.
Sorry. Most rushing yards, the guy who was, I believe, second last year, right? Bijan was behind Gibbs.
No, I think he
was like
third or fourth. Yeah, he was somewhere top 5 though.
Most receiving yards, I'm guessing Jamar Chase won it last year, or Puka Nacua won it last year. But he was probably in the top 5. Most touchdowns, you know what? I'll give you credit for that. That one's a little bit of a hot take. Most sacks is a hot take. You know what? I'll give you 2.5 hot takes on that one.
Hendrickson's my hottest.
Hendrickson is not your hottest, because comeback player of the year is a weird category where Joe Flacco's won it twice.
Yeah.
Your hottest take is Danielle Hunter with the most sacks.
Yeah, that was kind of me really wanting to pick that category and then having to find a solid pick after you swooped up all the other good options.
Yes,
your first 3 picks, Garrett, Anderson Jr., Hutchinson. I was like, well, fuck.
Mike, I gotta give some love out here to the real ones, to the offensive line, as I desperately try to double check to see if I can find a defensive player who is going to grade higher on PFF. But I gotta give it to the real ones, Mike. To those guys out there grinding in the trenches. Now, the highest graded player on the offensive line last year was Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell of the Detroit Lions.
Love it.
Now, it makes sense to take Penei Sewell again because he's still the best right tackle in the league. But I cannot possibly index into 3 Detroit Lions, a team I have picked to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be wild.
So instead, I'm going to take the second highest graded player on the offensive line from last year, Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs to be the highest graded PFF player for the year. You got any Wirf thoughts, Mike?
Wirf. Fan of his game.
Yeah.
Fan of his game.
Yeah. Think he's gonna be the highest graded player?
I think going any O lineman was a smart call. I'll put it that way.
think so too. Mike. All right, let me recap the
Bonus
draft.
time.
We'll do our Triple Crown picks here. Mike, I took at MVP Josh Allen. For most turnovers, I took Trevor Lawrence. For Offensive Player of the Year, I took Jahmyr Gibbs. Defensive Player of the Year, I took Will Anderson Jr. Highest graded player by PFF, I took Tristan Wirfs. Most sacks, I took Myles Garrett. Most pressures, I took Aiden Hutchinson. Player of the Month, I took Joe Burrow. Comeback Player of the Year, I took Jaden Daniels. I did not take anyone for passing yards leader, highest ADOT, most rushing yards, most receiving yards, or most total touchdowns. Mike, for your draft, you took passing yards leader Matt Stafford. Most turnovers, Sam Darnold. Highest ADOT, Drake May. Most rushing yards, Bijan Robinson. Most receiving yards, Jamar Chase. Most total touchdowns, James Cook. Most sacks, Danielle Hunter. And most pressures, Micah Parsons. And extra and comeback Player of the Year, Trey Hendrickson. You didn't take anyone for Player of the Month, highest grade by PFF, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, or MVP. Which means you just hate awards, I guess. The only player you took in an award category was Trey Hendrickson. Shout-outs to us for taking one player in every category at least.
What do you mean?
There was no categories that both of us skipped.
Oh, gotcha. Wait, we did skip I'm so confused what you mean by that. But all right.
The two of us combined.
Oh, collectively we hit them all.
Jesus.
Gotcha.
Fucking Christ, Mike.
Yeah. You know what I noticed?
What?
There is a consistent, like, in both areas, some of the awards or some of the categories you skipped and I skipped, both came from like the first 4 or 5 that the other person took.
Yeah. Yeah, you indexed immediately into quarterbacks, and I indexed immediately into pass rushers, and that kind of set the tone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Mike, we still have one more thing to do here, and that's a pick for the Triple Crown. Now, the Triple Crown is the most receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns in the league this year. Last year, Jack Smith and Jigma did win this, I think. I'd have to double-check that. But I believe Jack Smith and Jigma did pull off the Triple Crown. Before that, I believe that it was Cooper Kupp.
He did not, by the way.
Okay. So has there been one since Cooper Kupp? But the important things for this category, this is a bonus question. It is worth 3 points, so it can be a huge comeback. You can take a player already drafted, and we could both take the same guy for this. So there might be a strategy, if you feel really good about your draft, to try to take the same player as the other person.
Mm. Yeah, you were correct that no one, if you said this, no one did it last year when you go by regular season. Boy, this is a tough one.
You gotta take Triple Crown here. Who are you going to take?
Puka Nacua, potential anti-Semite. So I don't know.
And confirmed woman biter.
Yep, confirmed woman biter.
He
Jackson
is known to bite
Smith.
women.
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough choice there. I think so we can take players who were picked before, and honestly, I'm all in on this Jamar Chase Vengeance tour, and he's done this before. He's gotten the Triple Crown before, if I remember correctly. It was the year where the Bengals missed the playoffs. So I'm going to go ahead and just double up on my Jamar Chase stock.
Jamar Chase won it in 2024.
Yeah.
Doubling up on the Jamar Chase stock. Not a bad strategy, because if you win one, you'll win both.
Good chance, yeah.
I was going through year by year and comparing stat categories, and I feel like it's just easier if I just Google it. And Mike, it is in fact easier. You want to know why? Because they have a fucking list of everyone that's won the Triple Crown.
Probably just Google that, yeah.
Yeah. So in 2005, Steve Smith Sr. won it, although he tied with Larry Fitzgerald for receptions and tied with Marvin Harrison for touchdowns. Cooper Kupp won it in 2021, and Jamar Chase in 2024. And those are your Triple Crown winners. Mike, you have taken Jamar Chase, which is a smart pick for a smart boy. I am going to... I don't want to take Jamar Chase. I don't want to do like the optimal thing here and just box you out of it.
Yeah. That's not fun.
That would be the smartest thing to do. I'm not going to do that, though. Which leaves me with the following names that pop into my head. A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Jack Smith and Jigba. Let me try to discount these one by one. I don't think A.J. Brown is going to have enough receptions because the Patriots like to run a balanced offense. I think JSN has a shot at it, but I really think we're looking at some Sam Darnold. Jesus Christ. Returning to the mean. I can't remember the word. And he probably isn't going to be as much of a monster as he was during stretches last year, especially the year before in Minnesota. Which leaves Puka as my only potential option there.
Yeah.
Now, are we sure Puka Nacua is going to play all the games? He leaves games early a lot, and also he might have bit a Jewish woman or whatever the full story was. But I do think I'm going to go Puka Nacua. I think I'm going to go Puka. I think Puka is my final answer here.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That's a solid pick if you didn't want to try to box me out and take Chase as well. I will say, can I throw out a couple names I was considering, partly so I could lean into the bit of dudes who I love?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I get the big one was when I saw this as a bonus, I was like, yeah, I'm taking Wan'Dale Robinson. But I resisted the temptation to lean
I
into
appreciate
the
that. I appreciate the ethics poured through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mentioned AJ Brown. That was the other thing I thought of while you were talking. We didn't do this category, but one I probably would have definitely done to kind of double up with my Drake May ADOT pick would be yards per reception on AJ Brown.
Yeah, which is not a category we had, so it's probably a good thing you didn't do that.
Yeah, automatic loss.
I had for most rushing yards, I had Jahmyr Gibbs also written down, as well as Ashton Genty, since it's gonna be a Kubiak offense. I had offensive player of the year. How do you feel about a little Ken Walker?
I don't going to Kansas City just doesn't ever ever since they lost Tyreek Hill, they've never had a offensive player of the year contender really, even with some of the big seasons Kelsey has had. Also, he's going to a good typically offensive staff there, so that could help him. But there's always the worry of the contract year bump from a player got paid by the other team. How is that going to work out? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't totally believe in it. I just one of my dark horses written down. Same thing with comeback player of the year. I did in fact write down Travis Hunter just because I thought that'd be good for the memes. Obviously, I ended up not taking him, but that would have been good for the memes. The player I wanted most that you took was Micah Parsons. I assume vice versa is I got your Josh Allen.
Yeah, he would have been on there somewhere, obviously.
Yeah.
What's an interesting one I noticed?
What?
That we both stayed away from, despite him finishing very high in multiple categories. Neither of us are buying into the bounce back year that Joshua Hines Allen had last year.
Yep, not buying into the Joshua Hines Allen hype. Also, both of us shorting Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, there's just no way. Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a concern,
Dude's body has to break down at some point.
Jonathan Taylor? Is he like 26?
I know, but he just has to eventually have that injury year because he has ran the ball so much in his career.
Let's see. I am just checking here to see if there's any more news or notes we need to touch on here. Adam Vinatieri going into the Colts Ring of Honor. Mike, your instant reaction.
Congratulations to Adam Vinatieri. You were there during the Patriots heyday, so I've always hated your guts from a sports standpoint.
There you go. Mike, any final notes or anything you got? I think that we did a good job on this draft. We are going to, I should say, this is part one of 2 parts. We're going to come back either next week or if there is something more pressing we need to talk about next week in a few weeks, and we're going to do this same thing, but teams. It's going to be teams. We're going to do a teams draft.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Next week. Are we doing that Wednesday?
No, that'd be next week. We're only doing 1 pod a week for the time being. That gives us enough open slots to do emergency podcasts if anything happens in hockey or football or anything like that. But our off-season schedule, up until we start gearing up for the NFL season, we're going to be a 1 pod a week channel.
It's reportedly looming, like it could happen soon, the LeBron James decision. Could we get an emergency pod for that?
There will be an emergency basket for that. Yeah. Especially when he signs with the Atlanta Hawks and we're all really confused. But Mike, that's all I got. Any last things you want to do here? Any plugs you want on the way out the door?
Just keep an eye on the socials for if I ever actually get anything done because I suck. Other than that, another plug is that I'm going to plug you, Adam, because you do a great job with your plugs.
Thank you. Well, I'm not going to do any plugs this week then, just despite Mike. But you can, you know, if you don't already subscribe to this channel, I don't know how you saw this video. If you just like go into your recommended feed and click on this podcast every week and don't subscribe, odd choice. But hey, use YouTube the way you want. But if you don't subscribe and you're listening to this, go ahead and subscribe. Worst thing that can happen to you is that you just tell unsubscribe later when you get tired of Mike going live on YouTube constantly to rant and rave about wrestling results. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast and you don't follow us on Spotify, please follow us, because every week Spotify yells at me. They come into my house, they knock on my door, and they scream at me. I've been trying to get RAM delivered for several days now. Every time it goes to show up, Spotify shows up with a gun and threatens the postal worker. So, please follow us on Spotify if you don't already. And Mike, since this is Tap, there's only one thing that we gotta do here at the end of this podcast, and that's, how about you give a shout out to any category? Just a category. Give me a category shout out.
Shout out to the DPOY, Dick Player of the Year. Goes to Patrick Mahomes every year because he's a dick.
I thought it was gonna go to Big Cock Fox for being the Dick Player of the Year. Let's get out of here.